The podcast you're about to hear involves true stories, which may contain graphic content that is not suitable for children. Listener's discretion is advised. This is Esoteric Oddities.
So I learned something important this week.
Tell me.
Is that hangovers at 25 suck ass.
Suck ass.
They do.
Wait, I died on Sunday.
I died Saturday. Sarah and I went out on Friday night, and I don't even know what time we came home. And I woke up the next day.
It was like 4.
Yeah, it was like we took the subway home. We took the subway home, and I remember that you have to have like not a fast pass. You have to have like a trans pass to go through after midnight because there's nobody there to collect the coins, and they stopped doing like the coin collector thing in the Philly subways. So do you remember this? I had the subway token, and I turned to the camera and I was like, look, and I put it down on the top of the turntable. And how the fuck did I do that? I literally launched myself over, like legs first, up and over the turnstile because it wouldn't turn.
I mean, you're tall.
Exactly. So my torso is long. I shouldn't be able to do that.
Oh, that's true. Maybe you have a short torso and long legs.
But I feel like that's something when you're drunk you do and you fuck up. But I did it. And bitch, I'm going to the Olympics next year. Listen, if there's an Olympics for being able to do shit when you're drunk and not drop your drink,
you, bitch.
I would get the gold fucking ribbon.
Story time. One time we were at like this it was like this lake / waterfall thing, and I had a 40 in my hand and I slipped, but I managed to keep the 40 in my hand.
Amen.
And there were guys across like the lake, and they were like, "Oh, she saved the 40."
Meanwhile, you fucking bruised your ass.
Meanwhile, I was not good. I was like, I was like on the floor with my hand in the air with the 40, like,
You're just like, yeah, I'm cool. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Oh my god. But hangovers, fucking A. The next day, I had to take my cat to the vet. Nothing's wrong with her. I just had to get her checked out.
Buffet Faye.
A Buffy girl, because she had kittens, and then she started plumping up, and I was like, is this normal? So I just took her in, and oh my god. First off, to get there, the highway, instead of yielding, they're doing construction, so you have to stop, and my car does not pick up. My car does not go from 0 to 100 real quick, okay? It goes 0 to 100 in about a month or fucking 2. It takes a minute, so I can't gas it, and of course, the people behind me are honking, and I'm like, oh my god, my cat's meowing in the crate next to me. She's stressed out. I'm fucking stressed out.
Does she hate the car?
She's fine.
Right.
She's better than Baby was. She just like
Baby hated everything but a house.
Baby like did not like the outside. She's just like she'll lay down. She's like whatever.
Oh, okay. Buffet Faye. I love when you call her that.
Buffet Faye. So we get to the vet. And first off, I checked online, and online it said that they were closed. It was a Saturday. And I was like, okay, it's normal if they're closed on a Saturday, but I had an appointment, but I didn't make the appointment. Jason made the appointment.
Oh, so I called him. There's like holes in the info. Sorry, Jason.
I called him, and I was like, are you sure they're open on Saturday? He said, yes. So I go up to the door, and the door says closed. And I'm like, oh my freaking God. But I see somebody in there, and I'm like, if there's somebody in there, you're going to fucking stick your finger in my cat's asshole and tell me that it's fine. So I go in and I'm like, are you guys open? She's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, just letting you know, like you didn't answer your phone. It says online you're closed and your door says you're closed. So just like 3 red flags. It's fine, but I'm here. And you guys are open. So here we are. It smells like hot dogs and fucking wet dog in there.
Yes. I can't bangs with the way vets smell. Like,
and I was really trying not to vomit.
Love y'all, but
yeah, thanks vets for all you do. But like a Glade plug-in, would it kill you? And I was literally like, I had to concentrate on not throwing up. So the cat is on the chair. She's in a carrier on the chair behind me because the woman was asking me questions, and I had all her paperwork because it was the first time she'd been to the vet since I adopted her a couple months ago. So I had all her adoption papers. I had all like the shots that she had and all this shit. So I'm really concentrating on like not throwing up. So I'm like not even concentrating on her questions. She could have been like, what's your credit card information? And hit me with that soch, and I would just give it to her to get through.
I would have been like,
So I gave her all the information. Then a woman with a dog comes in, and of course the dog's barking at the cat. The cat is freaking out. I'm like, and they're behind me. They're a little bit further behind me, so I can't like go turn around. I was like, oh my God, this is a mess. Jesus, are you there? It's me, Carrie Underwood. Just fucking get me through this, okay? And he did. I almost threw up on the vet, and then my cat jumped up. The vet took him out on the little table, the metal table. The second he turns to write something on the paper, Buffy's laying down on her side. She saw her opportunity. She jumped up and jumped on his counter where all his paperwork, all the glasses were, all like the cotton swabs and everything. She knocked everything over. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And she jumped on the floor. I bent over, almost fucking threw up. I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. She was fine.
Raising havoc.
She
wreaking havoc? What is it?
She was wreaking fucking all of it. Creating a mess. But you guys, welcome to the mess that is Esoteric Oddities podcast.
Hey guys, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. We got some cool stuff today.
And it's also, I think when they listen to this, it's the day after Easter. Also, the second holiday that I eat the most candy. Do you eat a lot of candy at Easter?
You already know I eat a lot of candy anyway.
My mom thinks it's necessary to have so much jelly beans in every room.
I hate jelly beans.
I love jelly beans and I fucking eat them all. God damn it.
That fucking voice.
They're so good. I like the Smucker's ones and
oh, I've never had those.
They're so good.
Maybe if people provided me with not regular original ass jelly beans.
Yeah, the Starburst ones are pretty good because you know that they're purple and they're not the black ones that are going to lie to you. Do you do black jelly beans?
No.
I fucked black jelly beans. No, I don't fuck black jelly beans. I mean, just fuck.
I fucked black jelly beans.
Oh, Christ.
Are we okay?
I don't even know. Do you guys like black jelly beans? It's weird because my brother's the pickiest eater.
But he likes black jelly beans?
Black jelly beans.
Goodbye, Christopher.
Black olives.
I like black olives.
I am not a picky eater.
I'm like Lebanese, so I should like olives. Yeah.
Yeah, we get it. You're lesbian. Okay, we get it. You just girl, but like,
not far off.
But I'm not a picky eater at all. I'm pretty open to like everything. I eat all the vegetables and just olives. I don't like them. They fuck a lot of stuff up. Don't like them at all. And thank you guys for listening. This has been Esoteric Oddities.
Good night. Thank you so much. This is it.
Bye.
Just kidding.
So today's topic is
a surprise.
It's a surprise. Well, it's kind of like it's a grab bag.
It's a million surprises.
It's a grab bag. So we're pretty much, I have no idea what topics she's covering. She has no idea what topic I'm covering. So we're just going to do whatever for the first time ever.
We're doing whatever.
Yeah. Well, except I wake up every morning and I'm like, I'm going to do fucking whatever.
That's true. I do what I want.
I do what I want and nobody's going to stop me. Did you ever see the video of Avril Lavigne? And she's like, do you really want to know what I am? I'm a rock chick. I like to throw shit around. I'm not sorry.
Are you sure it wasn't Michelle?
Trachtenberg? Or like her doppelganger?
Her doppelganger and slash the new Avril Lavigne, because we all know that the theory is true and Avril Lavigne is not alive and this girl took over because Avril Lavigne, rock chick, would never make a song about a girlfriend.
You guys heard it here first. And since it's on the internet, it's fucking true. So tell your fucking ugly friends next time they're listening to Complicated, which I'm sure is every
That
day.
was real Avril Lavigne. But anything after that, like that girlfriend song, what was it?
Girlfriend.
Yeah, that one. That was not her.
That was a bop for sure.
That was a bop done by Michelle, not Avril. Bop this up.
So let's make like a pool.
And drowned.
Okay, I was gonna say and jump into it, but I kind of like your take better. God, I can smell our rates plummeting.
All right, everyone. The first is the witch trial at Mount Holly. Mount Holly.
I love witches.
Kind of close to here.
Is it?
Somewhat.
Is it in Pennsylvania?
No, it's in New Jersey, but New Jersey.
Oh, New Jersey is just the ugly stepsister of Pennsylvania.
Basically, I'm glad you agree.
No offense, Cherry Hill.
So, on October 22nd, 1730, an article appeared in the Pennsylvania Gazette about a witch trial that was held in Mount Holly, New Jersey. The article insists that over 300 people allegedly gathered to see the trial of one man and one woman who were accused of witchcraft. The charges included making their neighbors sheep dance in an uncommon manner. Isn't that so funny?
Aside from the common manner, which they usually would dance in.
Right, I'm saying.
They were doing the salsa instead of the shuffleball change. Fuck out of here with your uncommon
dance. Fuck out of here, boy.
Oh my God.
And causing hogs to speak and sing psalms. It's psalms, not psalms.
It's fine, I'll edit it out. I'm not.
And Poissons. It's because I read too much into it. I'm like reading so much that I like.
That you just read at.
I just read it
That's
out
crazy.
loud. It's crazy. In the trial, the man and the woman were tested to determine whether the rumor of witchcraft was true. The tests included being weighed on a scale against the Bible. If they were heavier than the Bible, this would conclude they were not witches. In the second...
Well, that wouldn't work for me because I am certainly heavier than a Bible.
I'm saying...
And I'm a witch bitch.
Witch bitch. Witch bitch. Dun, dun, dun.
Another one in the casket.
In the second test, they would be tied and thrown in a body of water. If they floated, then this would be evidence that they were witches.
And then if they sank and died.
They just died.
They died, but they weren't witches.
The man and the woman were eager to prove to the crowd they were not witches and agreed to the test. In agreement, they insisted that the people that accused them be tested as well. The accusers agreed, so it was like 2 other people.
And they were just like, okay.
If we're getting tested, you're getting tested. All 4 were placed one at a time, one side of the scale, and then the heavy Bible was placed on the other side. All 4 passed. Next, all 4 were bound and stripped. The women were allowed to wear their clothes and thrown in the nearby mill pond. One of the accusers, a very thin man, immediately began to sink, but the rest of them stayed afloat. And that's where the story ends.
Oh. So so the one man was a witch?
No, well, he died.
Oh. Oh, so the women were witches, apparently, because they floated.
Right.
Ooh.
But I feel like this was like, because it was 1730, that it was like they were trying to just be like, women are bad. Kill them.
Oh my God. They were just like, they wanted to be Salem so bad.
In New Jersey.
Yeah, they're like, we have cool malls. And witches.
Do they have cool malls?
They have the Cherry Hill Mall. They have the Jersey Shore, bitch.
That is true. We all know that the Jersey Shore is the best place on earth.
I didn't know there was a witch trial in New Jersey. That's nuts. Who knew? Also, what happened to the old Jersey?
It's also really dirty.
Dirty Jers. Ew.
The next story. Sorry, that was like kind of boring.
I think it was interesting. I didn't know that there was a witch trial in New Jersey. That's crazy.
I got all the stories.
All right, give me another one.
All right.
Feed it to me with a spoon, baby. Or a fork. Just don't stab my throat.
In the early 1600s, John Mompesson
Okay.
of Wiltshire began to hear strange noises in his house. There were sounds of drumming and scratching and panting noises. Objects moved in the house, and sometimes strange smells lingered in the air. I'm going to call him John because I don't want to keep talking. I don't want to keep saying his last name.
All right, I might be confused that you're calling me.
Should I call him Jay?
No.
You sure?
That'll further the confusion.
All right. John believed that a man he helped send to jail, a drummer named William Drury, had some form of witchcraft and caused the spirit to invade his home. As you can see, I love witches. The case attracted interest in England, and some people witnessed the spirit for themselves. However...
Wait, what year was this? I'm sorry. I feel like I always...
1660.
Okay. I always thought you always started a thing, and then
with the year, and then you're always like, what year? And I'm like...
Did you say what year? Did you say where it was?
Thank you for that laugh. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. It'll be $10. Or a high five. I'll take it.
Yeah. When the king, this is a real king now, because it's in England.
I think you got your stories mixed up there.
I think I did there.
From England. Pip pip diddly doo. Sorry, go on with your crumpets.
Okay, so the king sent 2 guys over to investigate, and they found no evidence of supernatural activity.
Did he say what kind of supernatural activity was happening? Like what posed him to say, I might be jumping the gun, I'm sorry.
The king?
No, the
The
dude.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there were drums beating in his house, scratching and panting noises.
You definitely said that.
And then
I'm here.
he said things would move in his house and there was like strange smells.
Girl,
and then
just,
there
it's probably just your laundry. Maybe just flush the toilet.
And then there were people that said they witnessed it. So it was like the talk of the town. So then the king was like, send people over there.
Okay, got it. You definitely did say that, but I wanted to hear you say it again.
Amazing.
For clarification.
So the suggestion that the skeptics say that John himself was behind it, and that he would either profit from people who came to see the spirit, or it would decrease the value of his house, which was rented. Another possible motive,
for him
we
to
could call
lie
that,
about it,
was his servants who seemed pleased with him, and they often taunted him by pointing out that he could never fire them because no one else would agree to work for him.
Ooh, because it was haunted.
Right.
Interesting. Well, why would he get off on that? Oh, you're saying maybe like they were pretending it was haunted? Maybe they were behind it?
Right. So so basically it was like to save their jobs.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha. Or they could just go to HR. I don't think servants had that. I'm gonna stop.
And that's the story of the ghostly drummer.
What happened? Was it haunted? I'm scared.
We'll find out later.
Oh, there's a follow-up. Oh, okay.
Take it away.
Oh, 2?
Yeah. I thought I had 3, but I don't know where they went. So.
Oh, well, hey, I'm here a little early, but the early bird gets the worm.
It sure does.
So this is the bizarre phenomena around Olivia Mabel. Have you heard of her?
I think I have.
This case I heard about months ago, and I like fell into a hole researching this. It is sad and insane. So in 1990, life was good for the Mabel family. Travis Mabel was a successful salesman. His wife, Olivia Mabel, was a stay-at-home mother, and together they had their only son, 7-year-old Aiden. The family lived on a ranch, and it was about 12.77 acres of property in a quiet town of Salina, Texas. That's pretty big fucking property. So they lived in like a really rural area. There's flat land everywhere, green grass everywhere. And the family, they were well known. They went to church every Sunday. Olivia led the church rummage sale every spring.
I love that.
She was on some committee, I believe. She took leadership in like doing the bake sales, raising money for charities through the church. So Travis was a salesman, and he helped a lot with doing yard work for his neighbors, also separate from a salesman. I'm pretty like, I don't think he accepted money for this. I just think he helped out around the neighborhoods. They had a couple elderly neighbors, but remember that even their next door neighbor was like acres away, so it was still like a fucking car ride. So he would oftentimes use his ride-on lawnmower to skedaddle on over there and all that jazz. So basically they were just very nice people, a very nice family. One Saturday afternoon, Travis and Olivia sat outside relaxing as Aiden caught frogs near their pond. So apparently their pond had long grass and cattails, as most ponds do. So Aiden was catching frogs, and he was kind of hidden like down by the water. Do you remember cattails? When I was little, I used to play with those. You go like this, and they go all over in the wind.
Oh, yeah.
I had a pond in my backyard. That's why. So
cute.
After probably a nice wine spritzer in the sun, Travis headed to the garage to work on repairing the lawnmower. He was either repairing the lawnmower or he was doing like changing the oil. He was doing something with the fucking lawnmower.
And not watching
right.
the child.
And Olivia headed inside to start cooking dinner. So when dinner was almost ready, Olivia called her husband and son. So Travis comes in, but Aiden does not. They call for him, no answer. By this point, Aiden had been catching frogs for a little over an hour. So Travis and Olivia run out to the pond and find Aiden face down, floating in the water. So 7-year-old Aiden Mabel had drowned.
You just really ripped the Band-Aid off there.
Yeah. And I mean, it goes without saying that this was the moment when their lives changed forever. The couple they stopped going to church. Olivia would not respond to her friends' phone calls. They would visit. She would open the door, politely tell them she doesn't want company, saying, "I hope you understand." And then she stopped answering the door and the telephone altogether. Her friends would leave flowers on the doorstep. They would come back the next day or a few days later.
Good friends.
But they would come back and the flowers would be like unmoved, wilting in the Texas sun. So she just didn't even, yeah. And at the same time, the marriage between Travis and Olivia was very rocky. They started arguing. Travis started drinking a lot, but they stopped arguing because Olivia pretty much just stopped talking. She would spend hours in Aiden's empty bedroom. She was sitting in a wooden rocking chair, just looking at his pictures, holding his baseball mitt, hugging his favorite sweaters. I'm like going to cry. It's so sad. So her communication is basically gone, and all of her energy was focused on the loss of her child. So again, this led Travis to start drinking, and ultimately he ended up leaving. So a side note, when Travis left, remember, he was like a pretty successful salesman. The family was not loaded, but they were like borderline well off. So the ranch that they had lived on was already paid off. So he wasn't like straight up leaving her for foreclosure or anything. Oh. But he just, I guess he just couldn't stand to like see his wife in that state. There was no communication. He was trying to move on with like this. It's awful. It goes without saying it's awful. And he just like couldn't live at the scene where their little boy died. You can only do so much. I can imagine it sucks, but like life goes on and nothing's going to bring Aiden back.
Right.
Like that quality of life, though emotions and mourning are healthy, human, and inevitable. Like, when it comes to almost a year just being stagnant and mentally shut down, that's like no way to live your life. With that being said, I'm not a mother. I'm never going to be a mother, maybe father one day, but I've never lost a child. I'm not judging Olivia or Travis in any way because fuck, like that's sad. I can't imagine. But, like the sun is always going to come up the next morning. The flowers are going to continue to grow, like life goes on somehow. All right. I lost my place. Where was I? All right. So Olivia is now living on the ranch alone. She hasn't responded to any of her friends.
Abort. I would not live on that ranch alone.
She's not responded to any friends, no family, nothing. She's living in seclusion. Travis has the bills for the ranch being forwarded to his new address. He's living alone in a small house that's just outside of town, but it's not too far away. So he pays the bills, for water, gas, electricity, and shit, so Olivia can still live on the ranch. But that's it. He doesn't reach out to her. He doesn't visit her. And at this point, they aren't divorced. They're obviously separated, but I can assume that they would go for a full divorce. But I could also assume that, Olivia's condition definitely plays a part in why they couldn't even start doing paperwork because she
doesn't want to do anything.
She's just shut down. So September 1991 is the last time anyone saw Olivia Mabel. So fast forward a little bit to February 27th, 1994, around 9:00 p.m., several 911 calls are made from the ranch. But when the dispatcher answers, the calls are silent. So they got at least 4 silent phone calls. So the dispatcher sent out 2 officers to check on the situation. One of them is Officer Francesca Santiago. In a later report, the officer states that when they went up to the door was swollen, like sort of like bowed out a little bit.
Do you know how long after the kid was murdered that this was?
He wasn't murdered. He drowned.
He drowned.
He drowned in 1990. September 1991 was the last time that anybody had seen Olivia Mabel, and Travis was the last reported person to see her in September 1991. And this is February 27th, 1994 is when the police calls come in. So it's been like 3-ish years. So officers, they say that when they go up to the door's bowed out. This could be significant, but also it could be just how the door was or maybe humidity. So the officers knock on the door. There's no answer. But, they receive multiple 911 calls, so, like, that's a little alarming.
To go, right?
Yeah. So they decide to kick the door in. I don't know what the other officer's name was. It's Francesca Santiago is pretty much the only one who's vocal about this case. And we'll get back to her in a second. So the house looks abandoned. So remember, the last time anybody had seen Olivia was about 3 years prior. And in the house, nothing had been cleaned. So there was dust settled everywhere. There were dirty dishes in the sink with little bugs on them. It just looks like...
it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, exactly. They could be big bugs. Could be big bugs.
Rats, roaches.
Rats, roaches, random people.
Oh my.
Fears of mine. So it looked like whoever had lived there had just up and left. And, they didn't know because she wasn't paying bills. Travis was paying the bills. So she could have just up and left and nobody would have known. And he was just paying for like a leaky faucet and maybe like a light that was left on. So it just looked like whoever lived there up and left. So they wander the ranch and they get to a bedroom. And they open the door and guess what, bitch?
Tell me, bitch.
It's clean. It looks like it's been dusted, even possibly vacuumed. It was organized. It looked lived in. And there was a child's bed perfectly made in the corner.
Oh, God.
And on the other side of the room was an empty baby crib. Remember, Aiden was 7.
Right. He don't need a baby crib.
So, of course, the bedroom that they found was Aiden's. In another corner of the room, sitting in a rocking chair,
oh no,
wearing a nightgown, is Olivia Mabel's dead body. She's been dead for months. On the floor in front of her is what looks to be, to investigators, a makeshift altar. There is a child's bedsheet, which is laid on top of a toy trunk. And on top of that are photos of Aiden, drawings of him, numerous votive candles, his baseball mitt, wildflowers, and a handwritten letter. There are also papers with symbols on them, which investigators have now...
Yes, girl.
have now identified as Sanskrit, and in her hands is a little doll. It's made out of sticks, leaves, and it's dressed up in strips of fabric from Aiden's clothing. So they did find that handwritten letter that I mentioned, and on it, it says, are you ready? On it, it says, "My Aiden, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have never let it get like this. I'm leaving. I will not let you keep me, you vile, evil creature. Mommy's coming for you, Aiden, my sweet Aiden. Mommy loves you." The note was dated February 27th, 1994, which was that exact day, despite the fact that Olivia had clearly been dead for a while. So, I mean, it is weird, right? It's possible.
Abort.
It's very possible that she could have been dead for like a couple months and she could have like written that date on there for some reason.
But how would she know that day that the cops were coming?
Or somebody else was there
And
wrote the letter for that date and then called 911, because remember, their multiple 911 calls are the reason the cops are there in the first place. So in a 1999 magazine article, Terry Goldshire, who was the lead investigator for the case, had this to say about the curious circumstances surrounding the discovery of Olivia Mabel. Quote, "Nobody had seen her in years, almost 3. She clearly passed her time in some pretty unhealthy ways. The negligent damage to the house, the obsession with her deceased son, and clearly pagan symbols and an altar were all signs of something seriously wrong with her mental health, which is understandable after a death of a child like that. But she just balled up, ran her husband out, never went back to church. See, if she had reached out to her brothers and sisters in Christ, they would have supported her. But she left the flock and became the devil's prey, plain and simple." So this case gets a little freaking weird, okay? And I'm assuming it's a very like biblical town. I think because a lot of the interviews with people, they were very religious. Even the what's it called? The police and the investigator, whatever. So after a thorough investigation, the case was closed with an unsolved outcome. Local rumors had become legend regarding what happened to Olivia, the most popular being that Ms. Mabel attracted or created something evil. I read somewhere that there were 2 phones in the house. There was one in the master bedroom, which was not Aiden's bedroom. It was the bedroom next to it, which was Travis and Olivia's bedroom. And there was one telephone in the kitchen. And when investigators looked at them, the phone was covered in dust with no fingerprints.
Oh shit!
And they were the only landlines in the house. So the first officer who was on the scene, again, Francesca Santiago, describes what she witnessed entering the residence. She said, quote, "I spent a lot of time in El Paso and had an uncle who was into some really dark occult stuff. I recognized it immediately. When I walked into that room, I saw symbols and photos on the altar. I felt very strong, angry presence looming over me. It honestly was the last thing I expected to play in this town." So here is a clip of Francesca Santiago in a radio interview.
Well, honestly, it still just doesn't make any sense. I remember being there and it was just freezing cold inside that house and it was warm outside. She was just sitting in a chair and I can't tell, like, we still don't know how long she had been there for. She was just there, dead, and there was a crib in the corner. She wasn't pregnant or anything. No one found anything about that. It was just there. It was, well, very strange, I would say. There were a lot of photos and personal objects on that, and candles, and, well, it's things you actually use to see in what we call santuarios. It's like this place with personal objects of the deceased and certain, how would I describe this? It's like chants or things that are written down like a prayer. And I wouldn't recommend, even if someone put that out there, they were definitely trying to do something that I wouldn't even recommend going into. There was something just really evil in that house. It's the kind of thing that once you mess with it, it just doesn't stop.
So that's fucking crazy, right?
Legit.
So the people who have read about this case have come to their own theories about what happened based on translations of the Sanskrit found on her altar. Local legend now has it that she may have created an entity of her son, a sentient being based on Tibetan Buddhism, created, you know, some power through her thoughts. So this is known in Tibetan as tulpa, or in English, a thought form. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
I have just recently come to hear of it, and it's pretty crazy. So back to Officer Santiago really quick. So one of the oddest parts for me, she says, is the date on the letter.
The day of
exactly.
24th,
dated
1994?
Dated the very day we kicked down the swollen door. The city concluded that she post-dated everything. So I guess whoever was investigating this was assumed that she wrote that date at an earlier date. And they didn't believe, but Officer Santiago says, despite, you know, not finding any footprints in the dust or anything else in the house that would say anybody broke in, she says she doesn't think she was alone in that house. She said, "I don't believe her spirit wasn't still in that room that night with us, but that makes me the crazy one, right?" So back to the investigator, Terry, who says, you know, he was well aware of the fact that she may have written the date at the top at a much earlier date, you know, but if that was the case, who the hell was making the 911 calls?
Right, and like, why did they show up the day the letter she had in her hand was dated? That's really weird to me.
And like, why wasn't there fingerprints on the dust that was on the phone?
Right.
So, let me rewind a bit because I feel like I dropped a huge bomb and then I kind of just skated over it. So tulpas. This is going to sound unbelievable, but keep an open mind and just listen to this. So tulpas are sentient forms that are rooted in ancient Buddhist esoteric knowledge. Since I'm not a professional in the matter, the next part I'm going to pretty much read verbatim from tulpas.info. If you would like more, go to tulpas.info. Hashtag not sponsored. What's up, tulpas? So a tulpa is an entity created in the mind, acting independently of and parallel to your own consciousness. They're able to think, have their own free will, emotions, and memories. In short, a tulpa is like a sentient of a person who's living in your head but is separate from you. This is kind of hard to wrap your head around, but I'm going to say something in a little bit and you're going to be like, holy shit, I freaking get it. So it's currently unproven whether or not tulpas are truly sentient, but this community, which I don't know, is the community that believes in this stuff, who believes in this, period. We treat them as such. It takes time for a tulpa to develop a convincing and complex personality. As they grow older, your attention and their life experiences will shape them into a person with their own hopes, dreams, and beliefs. You'll create a tulpa by imagining a person in your head and treating them as a person. This is something that they used to do like way back in ancient times. And
so it's like a spirit. So it's like if you would be living and your spirit would be living also.
In a way, but it's not your spirit. Okay. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around because I had never heard of a concept like this. But it's like you can create it. You have the energy to create. Hold on. I'll let them do the explaining. Hold on.
Explain to me.
So, you imagine a tulpa in your head. This is how you create it. You imagine a person in your head and you treat them as such. The exact mechanism is unknown, but if you give the tulpa its attention and believe it is a sentient person, it will grow into one and act independently of you. At first, you will be narrating your tulpa, speaking to it, visualizing it in your mind, and with time, you'll be able to communicate through various methods, which will be described in the next section. So keep in mind that when a tulpa starts talking, it doesn't mean that they are complete or finished by any means. Like any person, a tulpa is never, quote, done, and you shouldn't be going for a finished tulpa when you make one. You should be focused on nurturing, teaching your tulpa as much as you can so they can grow as a person with you. While at the same time you're learning about yourself, it will grow as a person in turn. It takes time and effort to make a tulpa be self-sufficient and balanced individual, and their independence and personality will grow and flourish over time. Like any regular human beings, creating a tulpa means committing to raising and living with another person, and this is a lifetime commitment. It doesn't stop after the tulpa starts speaking.
That's scary. Why would you ever want to do that?
The connection between, I didn't really look too much into the history of it, but I believe that the belief was, because it's in like ancient Buddhist esoteric texts and stuff, that it's a way of they grow within you. So the fact that I don't freaking know. But that was like the basis of like kind of what I was getting. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm a deep dive researcher on that.
It's like an imaginary friend?
Yes. In some texts, they did describe it as an imaginary friend, but it becomes real. Like it starts off like you have the thought. You're like, hey, I want an imaginary friend. I'm going to think about an imaginary friend. And you think about it.
It's so crazy because now that I think about it, I feel like there has been tulpas in like so many movies and they never called it that.
That's so interesting you say that. We will get back to that fact in a freaking second. So essentially it's, it's a being that is never supposed to take physical form. Like it's not supposed to turn into a poltergeist. It's not supposed to.
They do.
But to the creator, it feels real. It forms its own thoughts. It forms its own memory. But that is only apparent to the host or tulpa creator. So I was thinking, what if we're all tulpas in someone's mind?
Stop it. Why would you do this to me? You always do this to me.
I like to think about things like that.
Stop thinking.
It sounds wacky, but like think about the fact that we can create measurable wavelengths of energy with our minds. Like tell me to go get a tinfoil hat. I've got 5 upstairs. Call me a witch. I take it as a compliment, but it's true. Like I'm not saying that believe all the.
Literally, I'm sorry to cut you off. There's literally a site to create one, and I just.
Are you looking it up?
I am.
Yeah.
I don't like.
There's YouTube videos on it and stuff. On people who have them, and it's not. I think there was an art. I read a forum. I really did get lost in this rabbit hole. I was reading a forum where people were saying that people who have tulpas just have like either schizophrenia or like split personality disorder or multiple personality disorder. But I don't subscribe to taking somebody's mental illness.
People
and like,
always do that.
Yeah, I don't
and
subscribe to pinning that
really
on it.
Over it.
I do. I haven't experienced it, and I don't think I would like to.
Well, I feel like that's like how people keep things secret. It's like, oh, that person has schizophrenia. That person has a mental illness, so it's not real. It's like a way to like cover up the fact that it's real. Like
it could be, or just because because we don't experience it, it's so easy just to be like.
Like just how in movies, how people interpret like drug addiction as like demons.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're like, oh, this person's like, they're addicts. So like whatever they see or hear isn't real.
Right.
It's like the same concept.
Exactly. I'm just saying that, as humans, we run on energy, we feed on energy, we have the ability to project our energy, whether we want to dispute it or not. It's a fact. Like, that's just what it is. Your energy. That's like what humans are made out of.
You sure are. If y'all think negative, your life will be negative.
Thank you. Clap back. Some people think that due to Olivia Mabel's mental health from the loss of her son, she may have conjured something up in a desperate attempt to bring her son back. I mean, based on the Sanskrit, she had done her ancient Buddhist esoteric research and had been trying to create a tulpa, or what we call as a thought form. But I mean, think about it.
Maybe that's why she stopped talking to people.
Exactly. Think about it. She had nothing to lose. She already lost anything. Maybe with how upset and negative she was, how negative her energy was, she just conjured up something evil. I mean, she had nothing but time by herself, surrounded by her son's shit. Her son, who she wanted back desperately, she, was opening doors that she didn't know how to close. So there is one tulpa in mainstream, I suppose you could say, pop culture. I was listening to the Stranger Than podcast. If you guys like them, if you guys like them, if you guys like us, you def like them. But Joanna made a point to mention that essentially Freddy Krueger is a tulpa.
Oh shit.
Think about it. He used to be a real person. I mean, in the movie, he was a real person. Then he came to the kids in their dreams. He fed off of their energy, and he didn't hurt them at first. But then, once he was feeding off their energy and their attention, he had his own thoughts. He could manifest himself and kill them. Now that's fiction, of course. But remember that in the note that she was found with, she was speaking to Aiden. The note was addressed to Aiden and an evil force. It said, you will not take me, evil demon, and all that shit. So years after the discovery of Olivia Mabel's body, rumors that the house was inhabited by evil spirits grew so persistent that current landlord Christopher Hagen hasn't been able to sell the house. In 2005, in an attempt to debunk these tales, Mr. Hagen hired Austin-based paranormal investigator Drew Navarro to determine the validity of this legendary tale. So she says, I'm not even sure this was even on our physical plane. In the hundreds of locations I've studied, I've never felt such an imposing force. I couldn't breathe. My heart was constantly racing. Its energy kept changing, but none of it felt inviting. Whatever is in there, it's extremely possessive and behaves so erratically, like a jealous child throwing a tantrum. As far as I'm concerned, that house and entire property should be avoided. It needs a serious intervention because I'm not sure what we're dealing with. This landlord's like, I'm going to hire this girl to get people to sell this. And she's just like, stay as far away from that land as you can.
As she should, because we all know what happened in the first American Horror Story.
Okay, so here is that investigator. Her name is Drew Navarro. She did a radio interview, and here's a clip from that.
That's how bad it was. The only piece of equipment at this point that we had was a voice recorder.
It is god awful early. I have no idea what time it is. I was just trying to take a nap in the van, and it's real cold in here. It's here. I don't know what to do. Stop. Back away. Get out of here. You have no power over me. You have no power over me. Leave me alone. Johnny, need help. Stay away from me. You have no right.
I've never felt anything so intense in my life.
That was her who investigated it. So this was released, and it only added fuel to the fire surrounding the rumors of a living tulpa inhabiting the ranch. But what exactly happened in the house that day, or who called 911, how Olivia Mabel died, all remains a mystery. And that is the mysterious phenomenon surrounding the death of Olivia Mabel.
I've never heard of the
Tulpa?
what is it, Tulpa?
Tulpa.
Tulpa, but it really opened my eyes to things, and now I don't know what's real and what's.
It's pretty creepy, and I think it's really bizarre to have a investigator. Well, I think she said her uncle was like into that shit, so she kind of believed it.
That's where
or
I
not
was
the
confused.
investigator,
No.
the officer,
Right.
Santiago.
But I was like, what? How did the mom find out about it?
What mom?
The-
she just did her Olivia.
Yeah.
She just like did
I forgot her name.
research. She just did research somehow. There was nothing mentioned that she had textbooks or anything, but she wrote in Sanskrit. There's actually a website you guys can go to. It is called oliviamabel.com. They have photos of the scene.
Oh no!
They have
Lord.
photos of the ranch. They have photos of the note. They have photos of an investigation report. They have a picture of the doll she was clinging on to. They have pictures of Olivia. They have pictures of Aiden. And let me play you one last clip. It was just a piece of a press conference that the investigator, Terry, had on February 27th, which was the following day. Let me play that really quick.
Miss Mabel's son, Aiden Mabel, died on the property in 1990 from a drowning incident. The documents and writings found at the scene were written in an unidentified language and are currently being analyzed. Miss Mabel was discovered deceased inside one of the rooms. Her body was found upright in a rocking chair, clutching a figure made of sticks and leaves. Judging from initial reports, Miss Mabel had been dead a matter of months. That is honestly all we know at this point.
So it is really bizarre. But do you guys want to know the most bizarre thing of all?
It was a hoax. April Fools, y'all. You the April Fool.
You the April Fool. You guys.
Everything was fake. It was
Everything.
all fake.
Yeah, that was a hoax. Olivia Mabel never existed. However, tulpas are real. Really,
Yes, they are, and don't try them at home.
let me just dive into my story really quick since it's fresh on our mind. So the core of the story does surround the website oliviamabel.com. You guys can go to it. It was a purchased domain from a Tumblr account whose first post was in September of 2007, which I didn't know Tumblr was even around then. So they've got a bunch of audio clips. Like I told you, they actually have a phone number you can call. But when you call, you just leave them a message. And I know a couple of other people who have podcasts who left them a message are actually on the website now. But again, it's just an automated voice message. People have called the Salina, Texas police department and mentioned this, and the police were like, we've never heard of this. And I think this was like a couple years ago. So I think enough people have gained traction on this hoax. And they've been calling the cops. So please don't call the police for information. It's, to my knowledge, it's not real. The thing that gave it away for me is if you go to the website, I mean, it's really convincing and it's actually like a really fascinating story. But for me, it was the pictures that were a little too...
Fake.
Yeah, are you on there?
No, but I could just...
Go to oliviamabel.com.
Olivia Mabel. I'm sorry.
So the photos just look like they were photoshopped a little too much to look old. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just something weird about it. Like
Death by Tulpa.
Death by Tulpa. But if you like look at around her necklace, there's like weird things on her neck that just like, I don't know. I've had enough Photoshop in my day, but it's such an interesting story to me. Whether it's fake or not, I was entertained when I had first researched this before we even started the podcast. When we had the idea of doing the podcast, I wrote this down as a topic to do. And then the deeper research I did, I ended up finding out it was a hoax. Now, what people think it was a hoax for was there was a short film that they were raising money for called Thought Form. And it's actually a couple guys who have a podcast. I think it's called Hi Dare, HIGH-DERE. They don't make episodes anymore, to my knowledge. I looked them up. But they actually are the guys who were behind that. I know another podcast called Generation Y covered this topic, and they were saying that this whole hoax was for that movie in a similar way that, the Blair Witch Project was. You know how that was like, it's not even guerrilla marketing. It's just like by the time Blair Witch had come around, nobody had ever seen anything like that, like a fake documentary about something. They thought that's what this was for the movie. But I did my research, and the guys who made the trailer to get the movie made, they started a Kickstarter page, which did not get funded, so there was no movie. But if you go and look up Thought Form's trailer, you can find the trailer for it. They thought that these guys who were making the movie made this website, but they didn't. So nobody really knows who made this website or why they started it. But the filmmakers said that they came across the film on StumbleUpon. Have you ever used that?
Yeah.
Like stumbleupon.com, I think they have an app, and it's basically just like you can pick your interests and shit, and it'll generate a random website somewhere on the internet from somebody who submitted it under some category, and it'll just show you random websites. So that's how the filmmakers came upon this. So to my knowledge, nobody really knows who made OliviaMabel.com or why they did it, but it started in 2007 and their last post was February 2nd, 2016. So 9 years they've been like posting things, which is pretty crazy. And like there's they posted in February 2016 like it says Texas Department of Health Bureau of Vital Statistics. It's like a death certification and it looks pretty real. But I was very entertained by the story. I thought it was very interesting. I think the fact that tulpas are technically
scary.
Are like a real ancient phenomena. I don't even know what to call it. I don't even know what to call them. I just think that that's so interesting because I had never heard of them before. And I also think it's very interesting that I was going to do the story. And then this morning I was listening to the Stranger Than podcast that they put out yesterday. Mm-hmm. From when we're recording this, and they were talking about the tulpa thing that they did. I didn't even realize they did tulpas.
See?
I somehow missed that episode, so I rewound and I listened to their tulpas episode. But tulpas, Tulpas, look them up. They're very interesting. But yeah, Olivia Mabel, I hate to tell you, for the first time on this podcast, we fibbed. We told a white lie because it's April Fool's Day. Well, it's technically April 2nd. So
it is, but it's fine.
So it's the day after April Fool's, which makes it even funnier.
Basically, because no one knew.
No one knew. So Sarah, what's good with your stories?
So, my hoax is there was never really a witch trial in New Jersey, which everyone could know. But what everyone didn't know is that the Gazette was actually written, well, it was owned by Benjamin Franklin.
Oh.
And that's why it was like a big Philadelphia thing.
Okay.
So basically he would, like, when they didn't have enough information in the paper, he would like make up stories.
Benny, no.
So the story that I told about the drummer boy, he took that from like a hoax in Europe and put it in the Philadelphia Gazette.
So he really published that shit?
Yeah, so he published the hoax and the drummer boy, but he made it seem like the drummer boy, like, it appeared in Philadelphia. Like, after it appeared in England, it came to Philadelphia. He like made it like a...
Oh my God, and nobody could tweet about it. I'm shook. And
that's why I picked the both, because they kind of like correlated with
that's
each other.
interesting. And I know that, what's it called? Dear Abby. Like in magazines now. First off, there's so much fake news. Fuck
right,
that.
right.
But I mean, like, not Dear Abby. Yeah, Dear Abby. Or like when Cosmo does things like sex tips, when people write in and it's like, my name is Susan and I'm 20 years old. And I live in Texas and I have a problem with my boyfriend. My pussy's too slippery. Like that shit. I've heard, and nobody can prove this wrong, that, who says that somebody in the office can't just write some bullshit and send it to them?
Well, I think he meant like it was like what is it?
A parody, I guess it
Parody?
could be.
Is it parody?
A parody would be if you're making something fake on purpose.
That's what he was doing, like to make fun of Puritans.
Oh.
Yeah.
You left that part out. He's a funny guy.
Funny Benjamin Franklin.
Funny Benny. We promise we won't be lying to you on here. I just thought it was a really interesting story.
It was. And was... I think you just wanted to really cover it.
I really did, because when I first researched it, I was...
Well, I would too, because they have all those recordings. They have, like, the website. Like, how is it fake?
Anybody could make it. You and me could make it. I could hire an actor.
You could make it. I don't think I'm that creative.
I thought it was very interesting and very cool. I mean, I think a lot of people feel duped because they're led to believe it's real. But I mean, I thought it was so well done. So before we do a quiz, do you have an interesting fact? I have a fun fact. I'll say mine. So a small child could swim through the veins of a blue whale.
How?
Because blue whales are freaking huge.
All right. 29th of May is officially Put Your Pillow on Your Fridge Day. So tomorrow.
Wait, you realize that I said that? Then you said that before, and I told you that I already said that, and now you said it a third time.
The May one?
Yes.
Oh.
And it's not May. It's March.
Oh.
We still have April.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh my God. Do you need a minute?
No. Ooh, this Frisbee one.
Perfect.
Okay, the person who invented the Frisbee was cremated and made into a Frisbee.
Wait, I said that already. I said that in the one where you can be, where we talked about things that can happen when you die, and I said that you can be put into a firework and a Frisbee.
Yep, here it goes.
Come on, hit us with some fresh news.
How do you remember these and I don't? Let's talk about that.
Because I have to edit them, so I literally listen to everything twice.
That's true, because I... Yeah,
and you also don't listen half the time.
Oh, here. Coca-Cola would be green if color wasn't added to it.
Really?
Yeah, that's really gross.
That's kind of gross.
Honestly, the color is kind of gross anyway. Like, think about it.
It can clean your toilet. Like, if you put Coke in your toilet and then snort it.
There's a, I don't know if it's actually true, but it's like if you drink a Diet Coke once a week for a year, you'll get cancer.
Probably. It's not good for you. They say if you smoke Newports, I don't remember what number of packs you got to smoke, but it's like X amount of packs.
Probably like one.
In X amount of years, you have enough fiberglass that went through your system to build a surfboard. So that's fun. Put your cigarettes down. Here is my tweet of the week. It comes from Chrissy Teigen. She's reposting a video from Parker Malloy, from Parker Malloy. And it's a video of this couple, and there's a giant alligator on the ground, and they did a gender reveal with the alligator by filling a watermelon with colored Jell-O. It was either going to be blue or it was going to be pink. And she says, "Ah, yes, the classic Jell-O watermelon alligator snap gender reveal. Who could ever get enough of these precious moments?" And the dude, and there's another tweet that is from Aspie Puppy, and it says, "Does anybody not see the irony that the guy is wearing Crocs while doing this?" It's literally a man, like a real alligator, who nobody's holding it. Here, I took a screenshot, but look, nobody's holding it. It's just on the ground, and they toss it a watermelon with Jell-O in it, and it bites down. It was a boy, by the way, you guys. Well, it was blue, so whatever you want to call it. Let's not assume anything. Isn't that crazy? And there's country music playing in the background.
Oh
Yo,
my
that
God.
tweet got me. And I'm going to cheat a little bit, a little bonus for you guys, but I have an Instagram account that you guys need to fucking follow. It's called Taste of Streep, all one word, and it is Meryl Streep photoshopped with food or drinks.
That is amazing. I love that. Who made that?
I fucking love it too, but they, I don't know, you guys should check them out. The person who made it is Pizza Hantus on Instagram, and they have an Etsy shop, and they sell like votive candles and prayer candles that have like Meryl Streep and like and Dolly Parton on them, so
Cute.
I might buy one.
Yeah, you definitely need a Dolly Parton one.
But the fucking Taste of Streep is just Meryl Streep photoshopped with food, and it is A1. Not a joke about the sauce, but I suppose you could take it that way.
My tweet of the week is from Gigi Quotes, because I love Gossip Girl.
Oh, God.
It says, "I don't love you anymore, but it takes more than you to destroy Blair Waldorf." And that's how I feel in my everyday life. I felt like it really spoke to me, because who can destroy me? Nobody.
Oh, God. It's true.
I mean, what?
Godzilla. So let's jump into this quiz. It's a short one, but I want to find out, since it's totally not on topic, I want to find out what fucking spring flower I am. So if you guys want to play along, it will be in the show notes. What spring flower are you? Are you ready? Let's play. So what is your favorite thing about spring? The flowers, breaking out the summer wardrobe, a little early, spring break, baseball, festival season, or picnics in the park? I'm going to say spring break.
I'm going to say the summer wardrobe. Happy spring! Which quote resonates with you at a deep level? See the way that
God.
quote resonated with me with Blair Waldorf.
I want to fucking throw up.
Keep calm and love spring. Spring is nature's way of saying, let's party. Let your joy burst forth like flowers in the spring. I want to do with you what spring does with cherry trees. Bruh. You! Some days you just have to create your own sunshine.
Aw.
Despite the forecast, live like it's spring. You know I'm gonna pick this. I want to do with you what spring does with cherry trees.
I'm going to do Spring is Nature's Way of Saying Let's Party. That is a Robin Williams quote, apparently. Next question. What is the most important part of the flower?
Ooh.
Bright colors, nice scent, or pretty petals?
It's bright colors.
I'm going to say nice scent because I grew up with a tree that smelled like literal butthole.
Oh my god, it's that one tree that smells like vagina?
Yeah, the butthole tree.
It's called the
pussy willow.
Yeah.
It's not the pussy willow.
It literally smells like jizz.
Yeah. We just named a lot. We named butthole, vagina, and jizz. It's just nobody buy those trees. Whatever they are, don't buy them.
Do you normally have flowers in your house? Never. Sometimes. Always. Only if someone else buys them. That's me.
I'm going to say always.
Why?
Because I always do.
Must be nice to have your life together.
I'll let you know when I find out. So which is your favorite flower-themed product? So we've got flower dishes. We've got a floral print backpack. We've got flower sunglasses. We've got flower speakers. What the fuck are those? Those are so ugly. I hate those.
I would never, ever.
Flower phone case or flower candle? I'm going to say the flower phone case, and I know you used to have that.
Right. Shut up.
No, I like it. I told you I liked it every time you had it.
Oh.
And by the way, it's like dried flowers in like a clear phone case. Like it's like real dried flowers.
Oh.
Why are you saying, oh, you had it? I'm explaining to them.
No, I didn't. I never had that.
I swear to God you did.
No.
Who had that?
Maybe, not me. It must be your other girlfriend, you bitch!
You just spiked to the level so bad.
You said talk louder.
Okay.
Pick a sense. Touch, taste, smell, hearing, sight. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna go with touch.
I'm going to go with taste. Are you kidding me? All right. What spring flower are you? It's an advertisement. Skip.
I'm a daffodil.
I'm a tulip.
Wow.
What's it say about daffies?
You are the classic springtime flower, brightening people's days and bringing smiles to faces. The room lights up when you walk in, and friends often describe you as being the life of the party. Much like daffodils tend to grow in bunches, you love to be surrounded by peers and thrive from super poppin' social calendars.
That is
Why
so
is
true.
literally me? Ew.
So I got tulips. Tulips are one of the most common and favorite flowers. Well, bitch, I'm not like other flowers. First off, let's get that right. When you see tulip blossoming, you know it's springtime. You connect easily with family and friends and love socializing and meeting new people from all walks of life. This is already off to a bad start. People value your balance of sweetness, sensitivity, and thoughtfulness. Never a day in my life. Much like tulips come and go with springtime, and you enjoy travel and embrace change to the fullest. I can say that literally 100% of that was false.
You don't embrace change to the fullest?
Are you kidding me? I'm going through changes at work right now and I'm having a mental breakdown.
That is true, but we all hate change.
I don't think I hate change. I do go through, I think that this is not a good depiction of me.
That's true. Should we retake? Do you want to retake the quiz?
No, because I answered it honestly and truthfully, and somebody at playbuzz.com should be fired. Oh, I'll tell you.
They got mine right.
It was created by Sophia Dezen. So if you guys know her, fucking fire her.
Ooh.
Well, we just want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you would like to support the show, go to patreon.com/esoteric oddities. Any amount will do. And if you want 2 bonus episodes a month, bitch, they are out there live now. You will be able to listen to our older episodes. They ain't going to go anywhere. So if you sign up, you can listen to our older episodes
all the time.
For $5 a month, you get 2 bonus episodes every fucking month. If you like to hear the sounds of our sexy, sweet,
sultry, you always say that.
Soul Train voices, then go ahead and head over to Esoteric Oddities. Never mind. Patreon.com/Esoteric Oddities. And you can find us on Instagram at Esoteric Oddities, on Twitter at Esoteric Oddity, ODDITIE. If you guys have any ideas, next week we are taking a, a suggestion from somebody who had previously emailed us. So if you emailed us.
Yes, email us. It works.
If you emailed us, we're coming all over your face, and we are going to do your topics. We need to get there. Just give us a freaking second. So that's odditiespodcast@gmail.com. If you have a topic you would like us to cover, if you want us to cover your mom's tits and chocolate,
We
Send
could
us
do that
chocolate
too.
and her address. I got a microwave, and I've also got a full bladder. So I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for
Oh my
listening.
God. Bye.
Bye.